Let's take a moment to sit down, but do have your strap nearby if you're going to be using one. So I've been doing quite a bit of research on, in positive psychology, there's actually a website, positivepsychology.com, on the muscle of resilience and how we build that, especially in times of challenge. And yesterday, one of the lists of tools for building resilience was entering a state of flow. So I want to elaborate more on that. And there's actually a psychologist who researched, and his name is Mihai Csikszentmihalyi. He researched the state of flow. And you could think about it as when you've experienced, and you've probably experienced it at some point, the sense of fluidity between your body and your mind, where you're totally absorbed by and deeply focused on something beyond the point of distraction, where time feels like it's slowed down, your senses are heightened, you're at one with a task at hand, the action and awareness in sync to create an effortless momentum. Sometimes I feel that when we're flowing through vinyasa, breath-led movement, and there's a sense of synchronicity where you can feel this collective energy sort of moving you like a wave, where it almost feels effortless, even if you're sweating and it's rigorous. Some people describe this feeling as being in the zone. So this psychologist, Mihai, wrote a book in 1990 called Flow, The Psychology of Optimal Experience. And it's based on the premise that happiness levels, because that's what he was researching after being a prisoner of war in World War II. How does someone live a life worth living? He based it on the premise that happiness levels can be shifted by introducing flow. And the experience of flow in everyday life is an important component of creativity and well-being. It's a key aspect of self-actualization, according to his research. He said that inducing flow is about the balance between the level of skill and the size of the challenge at hand. And he marked 8 characteristics of flow. 1, complete concentration on the task. 2, clarity of goals and reward in mind and immediate feedback. 3, transformation of time, where it almost feels timeless. 4, the experience is intrinsically rewarding. 5, effortlessness and ease. 6, a balance between challenge and skills. 7, actions and awareness are merged, losing self-conscious rumination. The inner critic goes away. 8, there is a feeling of control over the task. And finally, according to him, he says that the best moments in our lives are not the passive, receptive, relaxing times, but the best moments usually occur if a person's body or mind is stretched to its limits in a voluntary effort to accomplish something difficult yet worthwhile. Something to maybe chew on as we practice moments of entering a state of flow together and within ourselves, and hopefully bringing states of flow throughout the day in our daily lives. So take a moment as you sit tall here to ground in whatever you're feeling in your body, energy, mind. Paying attention to the subtlest and more pronounced sensations, as well as emotions, energy in motion. And depending on how we're feeling in the moment, the word challenge can take different forms. So in what way might you lovingly challenge yourself in the practice today? As you breathe in, feel the aliveness of your lungs, feel the length of your spine. And as you breathe out, listening to the breath whisper. Inhaling, Feel the space you invite within your body. Exhaling into the space around you. And as you develop a feeling of flow in the breath, sustaining it equally in and out, close your lips and start to warm up using Ujjayi, a mindful breathing technique. Gently narrow the back of your throat, softly whisper the breath. Bring the qualities of ease and focus in the breathing. As you join your hands together at your heart, what is the intention or inspiration for your practice today? Perhaps you're reaching for a certain feeling to infuse into your day and share with others around you. Bringing purpose to the practice. As you feel the rise and descent of your breath, gently open your eyes and then grab that strap if you are going to use one to help support your shoulders. And let's come to stand facing the wide width of your mat. Separating your feet much wider than hips distance. See that your feet are parallel to each other. Now, as you raise the right hand, holding the strap if you have one, hang it behind your back, and with your left hand, roll the right outer upper arm forward so that you're broadening across the top of the shoulder, and then bring the elbow behind the center of your head, sliding the shoulder blades down your back. So that right hand lands between the shoulder blades. Reach the left hand underneath behind you, grab the other end of the strap, or you could hold on to your shirt with both hands and walk your hands closer together. Maybe you clasp the fingers. And as you spread your toes, roll the shoulders behind you and broaden and lift your chest with a deep inhale. Bend your knees at least slightly and hinge forward to fold as you exhale, dropping your skull freely, relaxing your neck. Feel that you are shifting more weight towards the balls of your feet, bending the knees as much as necessary to really relax the spine, especially the neck. Lifting the shoulders up, away from your neck. Slightly draw your navel in towards your spine. Taking about 2 more deep breaths here as you broaden the collarbones, opening the front of your shoulders. Drop your skull, releasing your neck and the rest of your spine. Take another inhalation. And exhale, release the hands down and crawl your left fingertips forward, lifting the spine parallel to the floor. So that your left hand lands just under your heart, raising the right arm up. Breathe in and lengthen forward through the top of your head. Keep sliding the shoulders back. Breathe out and just at your waistline without turning your pelvis, begin to turn your chest to face the right side. Breathe in, lengthen the crown of your head forward some more. Breathing out, firm your hips still and keep turning the rib cage. Let's take one more breath here. Feel that right collarbone lengthen away from the sternum and feel the reach through your right fingertips towards the sky. With an exhale, lower the right hand down, bend the knees, bring your hands to your hips, grab the strap if you're using it, and lead with your chest. Inhale to rise. Now holding the strap from your left hand, hang it behind you and use your right hand to rotate your left tricep or outer upper arm forward. Bring the elbow behind the center of your head. Reach the right hand underneath, grab your shirt, the strap, or clasp your hands. Then pressing both shoulder blades down, breathe in and broaden your chest upwards. Breathe out, at least a little bend in the knees as you fold, elongating the spine as though you're trying to create a flat back. Tilt your weight forward so it's a little heavier on the balls of your feet. And then truly try to drop your skull. Let your head be heavy, helping to release your neck while lifting the shoulder heads up and away from the neck. Remember, bend the knees as much as it allows more space in the spine here. Breathe in and out to your nose. Through the breath, setting the tone of ease. whether your body is doing something very easy or physically challenging. Let's take one more breath here, broadening the collarbones. Then as you firm the belly towards your back, lift the chest forward and lower your right hand just under your heart on the ground. Lengthen the spine parallel to the floor and raise the left arm. Keep your two hips still as though you're balancing a book across your lower back, but turn your rib cage to face your left side. As you breathe in, keep stretching the spine from your pelvis and out through the crown of your head. And as you breathe out, firm your outer hip still. Keep turning your rib cage, turning the chest. Feeling your left collarbone broaden from the sternum. Reaching up to your left fingertips. Let's take one more breath. As you exhale, lower both hands. Bend your knees a lot. Bring your hands to your hips. Lead with your chest. And inhale to slowly rise. Let's step up to the front of your mat. Now here, separate your feet wider than hips width, but not quite as wide as we did earlier. And parallel your feet again. Breathe in, lift your heart up. Breathe out, fold forward. Inhale, press your legs to the floor and stretch your spine parallel to the ground, sliding the shoulders back. Keep leaning forward and exhale to fold. You might bend the knees slightly. Breathe in, press to your feet and rise up, gazing up as the palms meet. Exhale, trace your thumbs down the center line of your body. Let's try one more half sun salutation. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Exhale, fold forward. Press to your fingertips and inhale, stretch your heart forward. Exhale, bow in. This time, lower your fingertips on the insides of your feet and step the ball of your left foot all the way towards the rear of your mat, coming into a high lunge or lowering the back knee, whichever allows your neck to stay spacious, shoulders relaxed. Take a breath here, bending the front knee just on top of the heel. And as you exhale, draw your right hip back and extend your chest forward so you're straightening the right leg to some degree as you fold inside of it. Let's keep flowing. Inhale, bend the front knee just over the heel. Exhale, draw the right outer hip back, lengthen your chest forward as you bow. Let's take 3 more cycles of breath. Get into the rhythm of your own breathing. Inhale to lunge. Exhale, draw the right hip back and fold. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, scissor the hip back and fold. Inhale, lunge. Now from here, set your hands flat on the floor. Step into your version of plank, either with your knees both on the ground or your legs straight. Stacking your shoulders right above your wrists, spread your fingers and rebound your weight off the ground. Look forward of your hands and keep lifting the navel as you exhale to shift forward and bend the elbows back to hug your sides. Feel your elbows graze your side ribs as you lower. Point your toes on the mat and inhale to cobra. Lifting the chest, look slightly down. Press down with your hands, tuck your toes, engaging your belly to lift the hips back into downward facing dog. So first downward dog, maybe of the morning for you. You might take a moment to pedal your feet in place, help to loosen up the backs of your legs, or swivel your hips left and right, help to stretch the outer hips and sides of your waist. Or maybe softly shake and nod your head to loosen your neck. Feeling the lengths of your breaths in and out, balanced. Now from downward facing dog, bend both knees, lift your heels and hips high, look in front of your hands. At the end of your exhalation, think of lifting your pelvic floor, the belly engages, so you can lightly land at the top of your mat, forward fold. Separating your feet a little wider than hips width again. Inhale, rise halfway up. Exhale, fold. Round through the feet, inhale, rise all the way up. Palms touch. Exhale the hands down to your heart. Second side, inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Warming up the shoulders here. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, lift your chest, lengthen. Lower the fingertips inside of your feet and step the right foot back into a lunge, lizard lunge. Remember, you can set the right knee down if that offers the neck more space. Breathe in, bending the front knee just over the heel. Exhale, draw your left outer hip back towards straightening the leg as you bow inside of it. Let's keep flowing. Inhale, bend, marrying movement to breath. Exhale, scissor, left outer hip back. Extend your chest forward as you fold. Breathe into lunge. Exhale, left hip back, chest forward and fold. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, scissor and fold. This time, inhale into a lunge. Set your hands flat, step into plank. Take an in-breath, in plank, belly strong, chest forward. Then exhale to shift forward and down. Now, if you want to go into a deeper back bend the elbows 90 degrees, flip the toes, and firm the tops of your feet down to come into upward facing dog, if you prefer that over cobra. Then engage the belly to lift your hips, downward facing dog. Breathe in and out through your nose. Now from here, we're going to start to move through a flow. Let's establish the route in a semi-flow before we get into a synchronized rhythm. With your feet hips width apart in downward dog, breathe in to raise the right leg behind you. Exhale as you cross the right knee to touch the left elbow or tricep. Look forward and balance your two shoulders in a twist and plank. Inhale back to three-legged dog. Exhale, touch your right tricep, opening at the hip as you look forward and plank. Inhale back to three-legged dog. Exhale, bend the knee towards your nose, rounding forward. Step the right foot just inside of your right hand into a high lunge. Separating the feet hips width, parallel, ground through your feet. And inhale to rise slowly, arms overhead in crescent pose. Now on the first one, you might bend the back knee to help you drop your tailbone downward and orient the bowl shape of your pelvis more upright by lifting the frontal hip bone slightly. Feel the belly tone there. Drawing your right outer hip back, left outer hip forward. Firm your outer hips towards your midline and grow the spine upright while relaxing the shoulders. Keep bending the front knee. Take another breath. Now reaching the left hand forward, the right hand towards the back of your mat. Keep your two hips facing forward, but turn your chest to the right into an upright twist. Perhaps you look back towards your right thumb if your balance feels pretty stable. Feel that you're still drawing the tailbone downward, lifting the chest upward. Take another inhale and stay as you exhale. Now gaze forward first, then do a reverse cartwheel of the arms to open up to your left side in Warrior Two. Now aligning your right heel to intersect the arch of your left foot as you drop the left heel and spin the left toes slightly to face the front of your mat. Bending the front knee just over the ankle. Feel the complete turnout of your right thigh bone at the hip. Steadying your gaze just past your right hand. Let's take a full cycle of breath here in Warrior Two. As you straighten the front leg, ground firmly through both feet and sweep your right arm up and overhead towards the rear of your mat in reverse triangle pose. Feel the length down the right side of your torso. Feel the stability through both legs. You're engaging the fronts of your thighs, your quadriceps, as well as the belly. Now as you start to turn out your left leg from the hip, making sure that your knee and toes follow, bend your left knee, leaning downward towards the rear of your mat in Skindasana, which is a half squat. Your hands could be at your hips. Doesn't matter how low you descend, just keep your balance by thinking of lifting your pelvic floor, lifting your chest and crown. Making sure to be safe in your knees by only turning out your legs to the degree that the knees and middle toes turn out in the same direction. Take another breath in Skindasana. Then switch by bending your right knee, flexing the left toes upward, and lowering the pelvis, lifting the heart. Take another breath in this side of Skindasana. Now place your two hands at the top of your mat, rolling the right thigh bone downward into a lunge, step into plank. If you're looking to add rigor, you can lift the right leg as you lower from plank into your vinyasa. Placing both feet down as you inhale into cobra or upward facing dog. Then engage the belly as you lift the hips back to downward facing dog. Let's take a deep breath in here. Open the mouth, clear it out. With smooth breaths, mouth closed, side two. Starting with the feet hips width apart in downward dog, inhale, raise your left leg. Then exhale, look forward and cross the left knee to touch your right tricep. Balancing your two shoulders. Inhale, re-extend, three-legged dog. Exhale, touch your left tricep, opening the hip in plank. Last one, inhale, extend the leg. Exhale, bend the knee towards your nose. Feel the belly engage to softly land the foot forward for a high lunge. Feet are hips width apart and parallel. Ground your feet, raise your arms and spine, inhaling up to crescent pose. Now, especially on the first one, you might like to bend the right knee. It helps to drop the tailbone downward as you engage the belly to slightly lift the frontal hip bones while firming the hips to square forward. Feel the length through the sides of your torso as you raise your arms while relaxing your shoulders. Check in with your breathing. Now from crescent pose, reach the right hand forward, circle the left hand back, and just at your waistline, rotate your ribcage to face the left side. Notice how your two hips stay facing forward. You haven't turned your pelvis. If your balance feels pretty stable, maybe look back at your left thumb. Let's take one more breath here in this twist. Now look forward, then reverse the cartwheel of your arms. Spin the right heel down and align your left heel to intersect the arch of your right foot. Warrior two. Feel the full turn out of your left leg towards the front of your mat. As you bend your left knee just over the ankle, firming the top of your right thigh bone back. As you straighten your right leg, the heel is on the ground. Spine tall. Take another cycle of breath. Firming down through both feet, straighten your front leg and sweep your left arm overhead towards the rear of your mat. So the right hand gently lands on your right leg in reverse triangle pose. Feel the left side of your torso lengthen as you relax the shoulders. Feel stability by firming down through both feet, engaging the fronts of your thighs and your belly. Now, as you bring the left arm in front of your torso, turn out your right leg, coming into Skandasana, half squat, bending the right knee as you curl the left toes up, sinking the pelvis to whatever degree the spine can stay lifted. Inhale, Skandasana. Exhale, bend the left knee and curl the right toes up, switch. Now rotating from the right hip, place your hands at the top of your mat, pivot to a lunge. Stepping back to plank, perhaps lifting the left leg if you're looking for more rigor. Use the exhale to lower forward, then down. Both feet on the ground, inhaling to cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale back to downward facing dog. So we just finished both sides. Let's take 3 to 5 breaths to find a steady pace, led by your breathing. So while I offer some challenge and rigor in the variations of these movements and poses, take the and done with love. Remember that you could skip vinyasas, you could lower to hands and knees and take cat-cow. There are many variations of each pose. So find what stretches your body to a reasonable limit as we play with a state of flow. Bend your knees, look in front of your hands. At the end of your exhalation, lightly land your feet at the top of your mat, forward fold. Let's bring the feet to touch because we'll add a chair pose at the beginning and end. Inhale, lengthen the spine forward. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees to touch. Inhale, sink your weight back to your heels, raising the arms in chair pose. Press down to your feet and exhale to rise up. So let's flow a few times through that route we established, leading with your breath. Arms by your sides. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Step to plank to lower. Jump back if that's part of your practice, landing with the elbows bent if you jump. Inhale, lift your chest, cobra or upward dog. Exhale, lift your hips, downward dog. Inhale, raise the right leg. Look forward, exhale, cross the knee to left tricep, twisting in plank. Inhale, raise the right leg. Exhale, tap right tricep, opening the hip in plank. Inhale, raise the right leg. Exhale, bend knee to nose, rounding forward, step the foot forward to a high lunge. Root down, inhale, rise up to crescent. Left hand forward, right hand back, exhale, twist. Look forward, reverse cartwheel the hands, warrior two. Exhale, straighten the legs, reverse triangle. Turn out the left leg, bend the knee. Inhale, skindasana towards the rear of your mat. Exhale, switch, bend the right knee, skindasana. Lower the hands, inhale to plank pose. You choose your vinyasa. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Steady your attention on your breathing. Second side. Inhale, raise your left leg. Exhale, cross the knee to tap right tricep, twisting in plank. Inhale, raise the left leg. Exhale, touch left tricep, opening the hip. Inhale, raise the left leg. Exhale, bend knee to nose, softly step forward to a high lunge. Root down, inhale, rise, crescent. Right hand forward, exhale, twist to your left. Reverse cartwheel the arms, inhale, open up, warrior two. Straighten both legs, exhale, reverse triangle pose. Turn out the right leg, bend the knee, exhale to skindasana. Switch, bend the left knee, inhale, skindasana. Turn to face the front of your mat, step to plank, and lower into your vinyasa. Breathe in, float your heart up. Breathe out, firm the belly in, downward facing dog. Let's take 3 to 5 balanced breaths. So now we've practiced one round of continuously marrying movement with breath. Finding that state of flow, repetition definitely helps. So as you focus more on the quality of your breathing and creating space, trust your body to follow. Let's take 2 more cycles of this flow. Bend your knees, look forward. Bottom of your exhale, lightly land at the top. Feet touch. Inhale, lift your heart, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale to rise up. Follow at the pace of your breath. Inhale, chair. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, lengthen the spine forward. Step back or lightly float back as you exhale to lower. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale to downward dog. Inhale, raise the right leg. Exhale, cross the knee, left tricep. Inhale, raise the leg. Exhale, right tricep. Inhale, raise the leg. Exhale, knee to nose, step to lunge. Inhale, rise to crescent. To your right, exhale, twist. To your left, inhale, warrior two. Straighten legs, exhale, reverse triangle. Bend the left knee, turn out. Inhale, skindasana. Bend the right knee, switch, exhale. Turn to the front of your mat, inhale to plank. You choose to lower or step back.
back to downward facing dog. Second side, inhale, raise the left leg. Exhale, cross the knee, right tricep. Inhale, raise the leg. Exhale, left tricep. Inhale, raise the leg. Exhale, knee to nose, step to lunge. Inhale, rise to crescent. To your left, exhale, twist. To your right, inhale, warrior two. Straight legs, exhale, reverse triangle. Bend the right knee, turn out. Inhale, skindasana. Switch, bend the left knee, exhale, skindasana. Lower the hands, pivot, plank pose. You decide where to go. Resting whenever you need as you cultivate balance and ease in your breath. Downward facing dog. We'll be there for a few breaths. As you bring purpose to your movement, intention in your breath, what do you choose to align yourself to in this practice? With bent knees, look in front of your hands. End of your exhale, lightly land, feet touch at the top. Inhale, lift your heart, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees to touch. Inhale, sink your hips, chair. Exhale to rise up. Last time, change it up as you need. Here we go. Inhale, chair. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen halfway, step or lightly jump back as you exhale to lower. Inhale, cobra or upward. Exhale, downward. Inhale, raise the right leg. Exhale, cross the knee to left tricep. Inhale, raise the leg. Exhale, tap right tricep. Inhale, raise the leg. Exhale, knee to nose, step forward to lunge. Inhale, rise to crescent. To your right, exhale, twist. To your left, inhale, warrior two. Straight legs, exhale, reverse triangle. Left knee turns out bent, inhale, skindasana. Switch, right knee bent, skindasana. Lower the hands, step to plank. Your choice, flow or downward dog. From downward facing. Inhale, raise the left leg. Look forward, exhale, cross the knee, right tricep. Inhale, raise the leg. Exhale, left tricep. Inhale, raise the leg. Exhale, knee to nose. Step it forward to a high lunge. Inhale, rise to crescent. To your left, exhale, twist. To your right, inhale, warrior two. Straight legs, exhale, reverse triangle. Turn out the right leg, inhale, skindasana. Bend the left knee, exhale, skindasana. Pivot to face the front, plank. Vinyasa or not. Make your way to downward facing. Do you feel the drum at your chest? The pulsation of life force through your breath and perhaps sweat. Feeling the spectrum of being alive. How amazing. So before we land at the top of your mat, let's add a twist here by stepping the feet wide, pretty much as the width of your mat. Walk your hands towards your feet, almost halfway back, so that you're able to lift the right hand off the floor and cross it to catch hold of your outer left calf, ankle, or foot. Now ground your right heel, tack your right hip back, trying to level the hips as you twist to your left. Looking under your left armpit towards the sky, drop your head, relax your jaw, And let's take 2 deep breaths. Maybe you'll want to flutter the lips if there's any tension in the mouth to release. Then let's carefully switch, lowering the right hand to the floor, crossing the left hand to your outer right calf, ankle, or foot. Ground the left heel, tack the left hip back, then look under your right armpit towards the sky, drop your head, and breathe. Maybe a cooling lion's breath. You take a big exhale with the mouth and eyes wide open, sticking out the tongue and crossing the eyes. Now, we've got a little more to add before we culminate the sequence. Let's walk the hands back towards your feet. Keep this wide stance of your feet and turn out both legs from the hips, bending your knees into a squat. Now, if you've got sensitive knees, you might want to stay very up high in the squat and step the feet even wider than your mat so that your knees just stack over your ankle. We're not looking to struggle here. We're looking to open up the hips and be able to lift the spine tall with deep breaths. Now you have a lot of options here. You can join the hands at your heart. You can press your hands into your inner thighs and twist, looking up towards the sky for a few breaths on each side. Or some of you might feel invigorated to practice crow pose and arm balance. And if you want to attempt it, keep the turnout of your legs. Bring the inner edges of your feet to touch. And plant your hands a foot in front of your toes, flat on the ground. As you keep your arms parallel, lift the heels of your feet, turning out the legs, and look ahead of your fingertips, like 2 or 3 feet ahead on the floor. Bending your elbows back as though you're flowing through chaturanga. Engage the belly and hug your knees as high as you can by your armpits, your upper arms. Then shift your weight forward so your upper arms are like elevators for your knees. As you spring your weight off of your upper arms to your knees, contract the belly, lift the hips, and maybe the feet come off the ground, maybe they don't. Keep looking ahead as that helps to shift your weight forward. Breathe. Bakasana. So whatever you're practicing, a squat, a twist, crow, let's meet in downward facing dog. Feet at the rear of your mat. Hands towards the front of your mat, lifting the hips up and back. Downward facing dog, breathe in. Close the lips, softly whisper the breath out. Back to that steady Ujjayi breath. With very bent knees, look ahead of your hands. The end of your exhalation, lightly land your feet to touch at the top. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale, fold. Knees touch. Inhale, sink your hips, chair pose. Now stay in chair for a moment and feel the contrast of rooting down your left foot as you catch your right bent knee rising up to stand on one leg, flexing the right foot. Now feel the alignment of your shoulder girdle stacked above your pelvic girdle. As the tailbone descends towards your inner left heel, spread your weight through the four corners of your left foot. Breathe. Feel your center here as you cross the left hand to the outside of your right knee and use your right thumb to draw the right outer hip downward, leveling the hips. You could either keep the right knee bent or to offer the hamstring some length, slide your left hand down the outer right shin, beginning to straighten the leg forward, or outer right foot, straightening it all the way, drawing the shoulders down your back. As you level the hips, press into the ground and breathe length up the center of your spine. At your waistline, like we did in the flow, reach the right hand towards the back and twist. Breathe in, press into the support of the earth, lift through the top of your head. Breathe out, rotating your rib cage. You might try looking back towards your right thumb. Let's take a couple more breaths here. What could you soften and create a sense of ease while you're already strong and focused in this posture? Start with your gaze, looking towards the front of your mat. Bring your hands to the back of your right thigh, your hamstring. Press your hamstring against your hands and roll the shoulders up and back. Think of lifting the pelvic floor. And now lift your arms up. Imagine boat pose as you stand here with one leg lifted. Draw the navel towards your spine, lift it towards your heart. Take another breath in, and then exhale, slowly step the right foot next to the left. Bring your hands together at your heart and close your eyes, taking 3 deep digestive breaths. Observing your mind state as you gently open your eyes. Bend your knees to touch as you sit back into chair Utkatasana. Feel the strength of your center, your rootedness to the earth. As you press into the ground with your right foot, catch your left bent knee and flex the left foot to rise. Shoulders above hips, tailbone towards inner right heel. Weight spreading through the 4 corners of the right foot. Now keeping your right hand on your outer left knee, use your left thumb and hook the crease of your left outer hip downward, stabilizing both hips as well as your center. Either keep the left knee bent or slide your right hand down the outer shin and to some degree straightening the left leg as you draw the shoulders down your back. Stand tall as you breathe in. Exhale, use your obliques to turn your chest to the left, reaching the left hand towards the rear of your mat. Inhale, press into the ground to root down, rising up to your crown. Exhale, hollow the belly, feel your center stable as you continue to twist. Maybe looking back at your left hand, let's take a couple more breaths. Keep flexing your left foot. Now slowly take your gaze forward. Place your hands on your left hamstring, back of your left thigh. Press your thigh against your hands as you pull so that your shoulders draw down, the pelvis re-steadies. Flex the left foot or point it. Then raise your arms up. Think of lifting your pelvic floor as you lift your heart, your crown. Take a deep breath like boat pose. With an exhale, slowly step, left foot next to the right. Join your hands at your heart. 3 deep breaths. And gently open your eyes. Step your feet hips width or wide or parallel. Reach your hands behind you, interlacing your fingers or holding a strap between the hands. As you lift the chest, roll the shoulders down and breathe in. Bend your knees and exhale to fold in, shifting more weight towards your toes. Let your head completely drop as you stay a few breaths here, lifting the arms away from your lower back. Lifting the shoulders up away from your neck, letting your head hang freely. Warming Ujjayi breath through your nose. Then lower your fingertips outside your feet and step your left knee back to a kneeling lunge. Untuck the back toes here as we play with different variations for a little more balance practice. So think of rooting the right heel down and even scissoring the right hip back, as though internally you were dragging the legs towards each other. Feel the lift of the pelvic floor as you begin to lift the frontal hip bones and orient your pelvis more upright. Now you could stay here, you could press your hands onto the top of your right thigh, offering a nice stretch into your left hip flexor and quadricep, or you can begin to slide the right foot forward a little more. Bend the left knee, lean forward, and backstroke the left arm to open the front of the shoulder as you reach for your left ankle or foot. I would go for the inside, the big toe side if possible. Now as you continue to lift pelvic floor, lift the frontal hip bones, draw the tailbone down, and maybe this is plenty. Get a little deeper into the quadricep. Or you start to reach the right hand forward, finding some balance through that internal scissoring of the legs. Maybe bring the thumb and first finger to touch. Or you start to add more of a heart opener, back bend, wheeling the chest up. Maybe sliding the top of your left foot into the crook of your left elbow. Perhaps clasping the hands overhead as you look towards the sky. Whatever the variation, let's take 3 more breaths. If you are practicing a back bend, feel that it's just under your shoulder blades that you're mostly bending your back with the intention of lengthening the lower back, tailbone descending. Gently release both hands to the floor. Straighten the right leg into a half split, flexing the right toes off the ground. Drawing the right thigh bone back, lift your chest like a gentle back bend, and then extend the heart forward as you bow. Lengthening the spine from the pelvis and drawing the shoulders down your back. Ardha Hanumanasana. Inhale, look forward, lift the chest. Step the right foot forward, step the left foot forward to folds. Inhale, lengthen halfway up. Lower your fingertips outside your feet and step your right knee back to a kneeling lunge. Untuck the toes. Make sure your legs are hips width here. From the left heel down, scoot the right knee back to the degree you want to open up the front of your right hip and thigh. Then, press your hands into your left thigh and lift your torso from the pelvis more upright. Dropping the tailbone down, give your legs the feeling as though you're scissoring them, but it's more of an internal action rather than something visible. Lifting your heart, either keep your hands on your front thigh or slide your You could back stroke the right arm to help open the front of the shoulder and reach for your right foot or ankle. If you can, the inner side, the big toe side. Bringing that foot closer, lengthening your right quadricep as you lift your frontal hip bones, drawing the tailbone down. Breathe. Maybe you play with balance a bit, reaching the left arm forward, palm face up. Maybe the thumb and index finger to touch, the mudra for concentration. Lifting the heart, perhaps you had a heart opener. Coiling the chest up, sliding the top of the right foot into the crook of your right elbow, and maybe reaching the left arm overhead to clasp the hands. Drawing the right hip forward, scissoring the left hip back. 3 more breaths. Feel the lengthening of your lower back. Now very slowly lower your 2 hands on the ground, framing your left leg. Flex your left toes off the ground and straighten the legs, scissoring the left hip back. Extend your chest forward with a gentle back bend as you begin to fold. Ardha Hanumanasana, half split. As you breathe in from your pelvis, lengthen your spine forward, slightly lifting your heart as you breathe out to fold. Couple more breaths. Then bending your left knee, slide both legs in front of you to sit upright on your mats. How lovely it is to sit down. So extend your left leg forward. Take your right thigh and cross it over your left thigh as we prepare for Gomukhasana. If you're looking for a release of sciatic stuff, if you have anything like that going on, you can keep your left leg straight and maybe even put a strap around the ball of the foot and fold this way. Otherwise, we're going to go into Gomukhasana, where you bend both knees, splay both feet apart and gently flex them to support your knees, and then ground your sitting bones. While the legs are in Gomukhasana, we're going to take eagle pose with the arms to open the upper back. Bending your elbows apart, cross the left elbow over the right. Either hook your thumbs or wrap your forearms in palms. Press the shoulder blades down your back as you sit tall and lift the elbows to the height of your shoulders. Feel the broadening across your upper back as you breathe into it. Now, if you want more sensation in the outer hips and thighs, begin to hinge forward from your hips, keeping an open space between your chin and chest. Feel your breath flow. Let's take 3 more deep breaths here in this hybrid of eagle pose and cow face pose. As you firm your sitting bones down, also firm your belly against your spine. Leading with your chest, breathe in to slowly rise up. Backstroke your arms and release your hands. Straighten the legs and just take a moment here to shake it out in any way that feels good. Then let's take the left thigh, cross it over the right thigh. Maybe a strap around the right foot if you're going for the hamstring. Otherwise, bend both knees, splay both feet apart, gently flex the feet. Ground the sitting bones, and let's bend the elbows apart. Cross the right elbow over the left, and either hook your thumbs or wrap your forearms and palms. Slide the shoulder blades down your back and lift the elbows to the height of your shoulders. Breathe into the space behind your heart. And with a long spine, if you're adding the fold, hinge from your hips and keep grounding your pelvis. Opening your throat. 3 more breaths. Garudasana, eagle pose, with Gomukhasana, cow face pose. Now as you firm the sitting bones down, from the belly in, and lead with your chest. Inhale to rise. Again, backstroke the arms apart, stretch the legs forward, and just shake them out. Maybe even give your IT band area a little massage, quads, outer calves. Let's come down to hands and knees. We're going to give a stretch to areas, to ends of the body that we might not always do. So let's start with the soles of your feet from all fours. You might need to do a little bull kick in order to tuck the toes deeply under on both sides. And then begin to walk your hands back. So the more you lean back, the deeper the stretch into the soles of your feet. Nice detoxifying posture. If you're able to completely lift your spine upright, you might interlace the fingers behind your back. Hug the elbows close together. Wrap the arms to your right hip and drop your right ear towards your right shoulder, stretching into that left side of your neck. Feel the uprightness of your lower spine. And with an exhale, switch the interlacing of your fingers. Wrap your arms to your left hip. Hug the elbows close together. And drop left ear towards left shoulder. Feel the front ribs seal in towards your back. Releasing the hands, lower your hands forward back to all fours and untuck the toes for an opposite stretch. Lean back again to sit on your shins. And now you can either lift one knee at a time with one hand like this, or if it feels okay to do so, place the hands behind you in like a rocking chair, rock back. Stretching into the tops of your feet, your ankles, your shins. Open your throat and breathe freely. As you rock forward again onto all fours, plant your hands in front and tap the tops of your feet into the ground. Just stimulating circulation there. Spin your fingertips to turn out to whatever degree towards your outer edges of your mat or knees, stretching into your inner wrists and forearms. You might like to move through cat-cow a few times with your breath. You might like to look forward and bend the elbows towards your knees. As you lean back onto your legs again, gently circle your hands or shake them out to stretch the wrist further. Let's come to sit again with the legs in front. Press your feet against the ground with your knees bent. Extend your arms forward, palms up, lifting the heart. Slowly lower your spine to the ground. And when you do lie on your back, Feel free to take any easy posture that allows you to lift your legs up higher than your heart. You can bend the knees, you can come into happy baby, where if you do, ground your tailbone and shoulders to ensure the length of your spine. Maybe shoulder stand is part of your practice. Give yourself a minute for any last postures you need to truly unwind towards Shavasana. Then take a few breaths to lower your body in a position of stillness and rest. And landing in Shavasana, close your eyes. Perhaps take one last deep breath, exhaling fully through the mouth before letting go of controlling your breath. Letting yourself be here for a few minutes. As your body lies still, just feel into anything present in it now. And the quality of your breathing naturally. As you feel ready, start to gently move your body into a simple stretch. Perhaps easing your way to one side as you begin to lift your body upright to sit. Pausing for 2 minutes, just being in a state of observance of your body, your breath, your mind, and all that comes and goes within the 2 minutes. As you anchor as a state of consciousness. Joining your palms to meet at your heart, bowing in gratitude to your efforts in this practice, and in gratitude for each other, for the collective energy we built. Let's close with one Om. Take a deep breath. The light in me bows to the light in you. Namaste.